The one that has doubled our reply rates when we've used it. This is something that we have split tested continuously using static copy that is the best that a human writer could write versus AI copy that is customized. It's the same static format, but now it's actually customized by AI to be personalized for that end user. On those campaigns, we've always seen a minimum of 100% increase in replies and positive replies, and sometimes seen as high as 6 times higher response rate. So how do we do it? Well, we use a tool like clay.com. Clay.com, once again, is not something we're affiliated with, but is a very powerful tool that can automate AI personalization. So I'm going to be sharing screen here and walking through a Clay table that we created. And actually this Clay table, if you are interested in it, you can check out the link in the description below, and you can actually download this Clay table as a template. Now note, you will have to get a paid Clay account in order to access it. But if you want to get a head start on writing your own AI-powered campaign, I think that this is a tremendous way to shortcut your process.
All right, so this is where the magic happens. This is clay.com. Clay.com is essentially a spreadsheet that you can hook APIs into. It's a spreadsheet where you can automate certain tasks and integrations. And it's fantastic for running a cold outreach campaign. It's actually really built from the ground up in order to be supporting cold outreach, all the way from scraping leads to enriching those leads to creating custom copy for those leads. You can do it in clay.com. Because clay.com is quite expensive, the way that we use it is almost exclusively on the email writing side and using the AI, but it is a very effective tool for that, and I think that it's definitely worth it if you plan to be scaling a cold outreach campaign. Let's dive into this. So this right here is actually a real pattern we have used inside of our campaigns. This is a demo spreadsheet, but this is a real pattern of AI prompt engineering that we've used. Big shout out to Eric Nowoslawski, who I follow and get a lot of these ideas from. So if you want a Clay in-depth tutorial, can't recommend him enough. But without further ado, let's talk about this sheet right here. So the very first thing you have to understand about AI prompt engineering is a concept called chain prompting. So rather than going to the AI and saying, hey, here's all the information about the customer, now write me a great sales email. Instead, what we do is we chunk the problem down into constituent steps, asking the AI very specific questions in order to craft specific sentences and lines and variables that go into the master email. Let me actually share what I mean by that. Let's actually just walk through with this as a real demo. This is something that I definitely wish that I had early in my career, and I think this could speed up a lot of you significantly. Let's talk about how it actually works. So these very first few columns are columns with uploaded information. The first one that's unique here is our LinkedIn enrichment column. So this is our column where we add extra information from LinkedIn. We do this because even though we use tools like Golden Leads and Export List and other things, in fact, those tools don't always give us all the information that we want on every single LinkedIn profile. So we do use LinkedIn enrichment, and for this, it actually consumes our Clay credits, which is something to look out for because Clay credits can be expensive since they aren't selling data, they're selling integrations. It can be pricey. But as this is the only area we're actually using them, everywhere else we use just our own API keys, it's well worth it. So then the rest of these columns are LinkedIn URL, organization name, so on and so forth. These are all things that we get from our primary source, from our primary scraper. And so if you were actually using this table, you would upload your leads into this table with the leads properties mapped to these columns. So say you get all your data from Golden Leads or from Phantom Buzz or from another tool, you would then just map those columns to these, and then the table would just run. This is really where a lot of the automations start to happen. So the first thing we do is we validate the emails that we have, which those emails are found inside of this hidden column right here, hidden for obvious reasons. Then we start the chain prompting sequence. The very first thing we do is we get a LinkedIn summary. So the way that this works is that we feed all the information about their LinkedIn here and say, give me a 2-sentence summary about them. And we start getting the following kinds of responses. Paul is the CEO of Avionics, an information technology firm in New York. He has a bachelor's degree in computer science, so on and so forth. This is going to be really important information for what we're going to do next. We have another thing here, company summaries. Remember over here, organization primary domain, we have their website. Here, we can use AI in order to get information from their website and get extra facts about their website. This is using a Clay tool called Claygen. Once again, in no way we're associated with them, but they do have a lot of good tools where you can give instructions to an AI bot, and it will go out onto the internet and scrape information following your instructions. So you can see here the prompt engineering we use here. Importantly here, for all of these, we do set our own OpenAI API key. This dramatically allows us to reduce costs as we don't have to consume Clay's own credits. And for the models, we use GPT-040 Mini if it's a simple task, or we use GPT-4o if it's a little more of an expensive task. Setting up your own API key is very easy, and you can actually check out a previous video that we already produced where we walk through the OpenAI playground if you want more information about their API and things you can do with it. But without further ado, let's carry on. Then we have inferred industry. This is a property where we ask AI in order to come up with the industry, because this is a term that we will use in some of our following copies, such as saying, we're looking for X businesses in your area. So you're looking for accounting business in your area, looking for supply chain business in your area, so on and so forth. So that's a really helpful variable. We normalize some properties. And a note for the normalized properties, this is actually an area where we ask the AI to return its results in a JSON file format, but you can make this basically fall into a JSON file. So all of a sudden, instead of just getting a single massive response, you can break down your response across multiple spaces. In this case, we normalize properties like their first name, their industry, and their company name, in case, some people like Avionics, looks like here, does all caps, so on and so forth. So here we just want to make it look real, as if we just put all caps into a email. It can look pretty ugly. Here it is, return as a JSON object. So once you switch this on and mention the word JSON somewhere in the prompt, then you can make your prompts return like this, which is really useful if you want to have a single prompt output multiple variables. Then we come to the actual example here. So I have here email A, and email A here is just a pretty simple example of where we ask the AI in order to create a sales email for us. In this case, we do just ask the AI one time as a single master prompt. You can see here a version of this pattern, but you would customize this depending on your offer, depending on your product market fit. But this is what you can do with AI. But what it really gets advanced, in my opinion, is something closer to email B. So email B starts from this point onward, and it goes through multiple steps before it arrives to the final step where it actually creates the emails here with test B. And I think it's easiest to explain this if we just go through an example here. What it does is it starts with, hi Jen, I checked out your company and saw how you XYZ with ABC and thought we should connect. So that is the pattern. If we get another example here, I checked out your company and saw how you assist businesses with cybersecurity and thought we should connect. Importantly, there are some times where if we can get extra information about them, such as a recent LinkedIn post or a company post or a new employee that was hired recently, these are all things that we can do. Actually, all of these examples appear. Let's just go through each one of these. I saw your company's LinkedIn post on making life better through international change, so I checked out your company and saw blah, blah, blah. So here we're recognizing their company LinkedIn post. Here we recognize they just now hired a new executive, so we can actually do a search where we are looking for new employees inside of their company who have some sort of executive position, and we say, hey, we just noticed this person was hired in less than 6 months ago. So actually the thing that charges that is line 1.2 right here. And you can see here, what we just do is we scrape their company LinkedIn URL, look for anybody who has the following job title keywords, and we filter for the maximum number of months since the start date of the current role. So that way we can congratulate them on the new hire/promotion. So all of that can be done in the very first line of the email. I saw Kellen got hired in the role. I'm excited to see how they accelerate things at 80/20. So if we look here, how this is actually built, we say hi, first name, paragraph merge, and then here we put messaging your split testing. So this is essentially a message that you would fill in the gaps for. What is here is, of course, variables that the AI fills in. You're still going to be split testing the very best copy for your product market fit. And that is something you're still going to be split testing. So what I would actually be doing is taking this waterfall template, and I would duplicate it multiple times, each one with a different split test, and I would add all of those split tests into SmartLead as my variables. That is it. If you want to walk through this tutorial or this template yourself, then you can download this template with the link in the description below. And if you want us to do a more deep dive video into this waterfall and how it works, then let me know in the comments. So carrying along from here, we have another waterfall that builds a first follow-up, and then we add all that into SmartLead. So the way that we do that here is that we add in all the information that we have on them into SmartLead, and we add the emails as custom variables. So inside of SmartLead, instead of saying like, hi, first name variable, we just put the entire email into that variable. So it's called, in this case, email 1 var 1, email 1 var 2. Essentially, there's var 1, var 2, this is our naming convention, for the A-B split test on the very first email, which is why they're both email 1. Well, this one should be actually email 2 var 1 for the follow-up. And that is a run-through of how we set up a clay table with a real pattern that we have used for our own campaigns. And with that, let's carry on.
So there you have it, a full walkthrough of how we use Clay.com to automate AI personalization for cold outreach campaigns. If you're interested in testing this out for yourself, we've made a demo Clay table that's available for download in the description below. Just a heads up, you'll need a paid Clay account in order to access it. But after that, it's totally free. I hope it speeds you up in your journey so you don't have to build something from scratch like we had to. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
AI is a massive passion of mine, building pretty much our entire portfolio of companies on the back of it. And I had actually done a lot of cold outreach before ChatGPT, before a lot of these tools came out of the market. And the problem was I loved the designing side of it, like the architecting the system, but I hated treating people like machines. I hated like having to